In a time when fake news and alternative facts run rampant, part of our job is to correct false information when we find it. Myths and misinformation both arise from the roots of bad data, but they can grow very differently. As educators, it's good to know whether we are dealing with misinformation or myth and to adjust our approach accordingly. Misinformation often comes from inaccurate data or the misinterpretation of accurate data, deliberate or not. Misinformation can result from error or from intention to mislead. For example, multiple media sources in the days after the Parkland, Florida school shooting rushed to tally how many school shootings had taken place in the first 6 weeks of 2018 in the U.S. They came up with numbers ranging from 7 to 28. People repeated whatever number they had read or heard until a few days later when most media fact checkers agreed on a number. Then the spread of misinformation stopped. Refuting misinformation is often just that simple, enlisting reputable sources to confirm the facts and figures in a situation. Scientific, demographic, and economic data can all be checked for accuracy, if necessary, by several different trusted authorities. A reasonable listener will accept such verified information and will adjust his or her thinking. Myths, however, are a different matter. Composed of hearsay and the desire to believe rather than verify data, they're not rational and thus are less susceptible to analysis. No one has ever caught Bigfoot, for example, but belief precedes evidence. The people who firmly believe in their existence look for evidence to support that belief. Photos that may or may not be the mythical creature appear and anecdotal evidence abounds in the absence of anything concrete. When misinformation has an added emotional payoff or of wonder or fear as a hook, it can persist as myth despite reputable scientific and academic denials. Debunking misinformation that has become a myth can therefore be very difficult. A local example of this is the panther in Pennsylvania, a real animal with a real history in the state. But according to the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, the last wild panther in Pennsylvania was killed somewhere in the 1870s. But as recently as 2015, photos appeared which claimed to be a black panther in rural Parker, Pennsylvania. And hunters all over the state have stories of panther encounters. Compare the panther roadkill rate in Florida, where the cats are still found, to the roadkill rate in Pennsylvania, which is 0. A rational-minded listener will likely be convinced that the panther is extinct in Pennsylvania, but not a true believer who hopes one day to spot the now mythical beast in his home state. As educators, it's our job to provide complete and accurate data to correct misinformation when we encounter it, and hopefully prevent it from morphing into the kind of myths that are difficult to eradicate.